Hello, Tigers, and welcome to the TMNtv newscast for Wednesday, August 28, 2019. Stay tuned for the latest news at Fort Hays State University and around Northwest Kansas and the nation. I am Lauren Davis, and Jenna Hawley will be here shortly with a look at what's going on around the globe. And Haley White will fill you in on what's happening in the sports world. But first, here's what's making news in Tigerland. It's been water everywhere for Hays in the region. Powerful storms carrying heavy rain and high winds whipped the region the last few weeks. High winds damaged houses, trees, fences, and a portion of the Acres Energy Center on campus the night of September 12th. But hard work by FHSU staff helped make sure the campus was ready for President Tisa Mason's convocation the next morning. While the wind caused damage to numerous areas of northwest Kansas that evening, it has been continued heavy rain that has left flooding in its wake. The National Weather Service has estimated between 5 to 15 inches of rain has fallen in recent weeks in areas from Waukene to Stafford. That has left creeks and rivers flowing out of their banks. The NWS is predicting more heavy rain is possible this weekend, anywhere from 2 to 3 inches in the Hays area and 3 to 4 inches near Larned. Flooding along Gustave Drive closed the bridge early this week, but was opened after a few days. FHSU officials continue to urge caution to students when approaching flooded roadways and bridges as more rain is expected. FHSU students gathered by the hundreds last week on the first day of school in the quad for the annual back-to-school picnic. Numerous FHSU organizations, departments, and businesses throughout Hays were represented at booths, allowing students to learn more about opportunities on campus and in town. For more on the back-to-school picnic, read TMN reporter Laura Krug's story online at tigermedianet.com. The Fort Hays State University Foundation's Journey campaign recently hit the $88 million mark, and university officials gave the good news Thursday during a press conference. The foundation is in the process of raising $100 million by Homecoming 2021. The money will be used for scholarships, academics, athletics, and student life, according to Foundation President Jason Willoughby. Student Government Association President Brad Demers told those gathered at the event about how receiving a scholarship from FHSU changed his path. FHSU President Tisa Mason told the crowd that any size of gift to the university helps in one way or another.
Now, you've probably heard me or Jason say many times, all gifts, large and small, matter. It's something we believe deeply in, and I'm elated to report that of the 58,000 total campaign gifts that we have received to date, nearly 22,000, more than 1/3, are gifts under $100. Because at Fort Hays State University, every gift matters.
An accident between a school bus and a pickup left multiple students with minor injuries approximately 5 miles south of Bird City on Monday. According to the Kansas Highway Patrol crash log, the bus driver was traveling south when it failed to yield the right-of-way at an intersection to the pickup that was traveling east. The pickup struck the bus, rolling it into the ditch. The female driver of the bus and 11 children ranging in ages from 5 to 13 years old sustained minor injuries. A 7-year-old student suffered a more serious injury and was taken to a hospital in Denver. The driver of the pickup also suffered minor injuries. The bus was carrying children from the small school district in Bird City, Shaylin. The accident happened just before 8 a.m. Monday morning. Parents of the injured children were notified immediately by the school district. TMP grad and former Kansas Governor Jeff Collier has decided not to run for U.S. Senate. Collier said Monday he will not try for the seat being vacated by retiring Senator Pat Roberts. Collier served as lieutenant governor under Sam Brownback before Brownback left the position to serve in the U.S. State Department. Collier was promoted to governor in 2018, but later lost a Republican primary election to Chris Kobach. Kobach was later defeated by Laura Kelly in the gubernatorial general election. Republicans who have mentioned running for Roberts' seat include Kobach, State Treasurer Jake LaTurner, businessman Dave Lindstrom, and Kansas Senate President Susan Wagle. A suspected street racing accident turned deadly Saturday morning in Wichita. A 19-year-old driving a motorcycle was apparently racing another motorcyclist when he collided with a vehicle. The driver died at the scene from injuries. The other motorcycle driver left the scene of the accident. A 44-year-old driver and passenger in the vehicle also suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Wichita police continue to investigate the deadly accident. When we return from this short break, Jenna will be here with news from around the globe.
My name is Allie and I'm a senior business major at Fort Hays. I love working for TMN. It has made me a more experienced photographer and really helped me professionally due to all the changing environments and the different opportunities. I've also been able to meet and talk to a lot of people, which has helped bring me on my show.
Hello Tigers, I'm Jenna Hawley and here's what's happening around the globe. The Sackler family plans to give up ownership of the company blamed for much of the opiate epidemic. The family plans to pay $3 billion of their own money under terms of a settlement proposal in efforts to resolve thousands of federal and state lawsuits. Purdue Pharma would be the first among at least 24 manufacturers, distributors, and realtors of prescription opiates to settle all claims against it if all parties involved agree. According to the New York Times, the bulk of the funds would come from reconstructing the company under a Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing that would transform it from a private company into a public beneficiary trust. The company would also give its addiction treatment drugs to the public without any costs. Currently, these drugs are being developed and have received fast-track review status from the FDA. The Sacklers would also sell another drug company they own and contribute an additional $1.5 billion from the proceeds. 2 children were killed and 9 people injured after a stolen police cruiser crashed into 2 parked cars Monday night in Dayton, Ohio. Both cars were parked outside of the Dayton Public Library, according to Dayton Police Lieutenant Eric Henderson. According to Henderson, police originally responded to a call for a stabbing shortly after 7 p.m. The suspect had fled. Police in Riverside then received a call about a car that had driven into a tree. According to CNN, when the Riverside officer exited his vehicle, the suspect from the stabbing stole the car and fled the scene at high speed. The suspect crashed the police cruiser into 2 cars carrying 11 people, 7 being children. All 11 occupants were taken to local hospitals with at least 3 in life-threatening conditions. 2 of the children later died. The suspect was injured in the crash as well and is receiving medical treatment. A war of words has escalated between Brazil and global powers over the Amazon fires. The country announced it will reject $20 million in foreign aid. Brazil's president later contradicted his representatives and said they'll leave the door open to accept the funds. Around an hour after the Special Communications Office for Brazil's president said the country would turn down the money pledged at the G7 summit in France, the president appeared to cast doubt on the matter. According to CNN, the Brazilian president added he would only respond to the offer once the French president withdrew his insults against him. He has accused him of lying about climate commitments during trade negotiations. The Amazon rainforest fires have caused public problems between the 2 leaders. The fires began earlier this month, and Brazil is under intense international pressure over its environmental policies. The violence and anti-government protests in Hong Kong has become even more serious. The Chinese government says it can handle the crisis. Carrie Lam spoke for the first time in public since the demonstrations escalated Sunday. Police fired water cannons and volleys of tear gas at protesters who threw bricks and petrol bombs. Lam said she would not give up on building a platform for dialogue. She said, "We should prepare for reconciliation in society by communicating with different people. We want to put an end to the chaotic situation in Hong Kong." According to Reuters, more demonstrations are planned over the coming days and weeks, posing a direct challenge to authorities in Beijing. The demonstrations have evolved into a broad demand for greater democracy under the one country, 2 systems formula in China. Since the start of the movement, police have arrested 883, with those charged numbering 136, and 205 police officers have been injured. The president of Iran backpedaled Tuesday on possible talks with the U.S. President Donald Trump. The leader's change of heart came a day after Trump said on Monday there's a really good chance the 2 could meet on their nuclear impasse. This comes after a surprise intervention from France's president during the G7 summit. In a televised speech Tuesday, Iran's president said, "Without the U.S.'s withdrawal from sanctions, we will not witness any positive development." According to Fox News, since the U.S. pulled out from the nuclear deal, Iran has lost billions of dollars in business allowed by the accord. The U.S. reimposed and escalated sanctions, largely blocking Tehran from selling crude abroad, which is a crucial currency for the Islamic Republic. On Monday, the president of Indonesia announced the country's capital will be moved from Jakarta to East Kalimantan. The president cited intense studies over the last 3 years resulted in the choice to relocate the country's capital on the eastern side of the Borneo Island. According to NBC News, the new capital will be in the middle of the vast archipelago nation and already has a relatively completed infrastructure. The country's president said the burden has become too heavy for Jakarta, located on Java Island, as the center of the government. Currently, 54% of Indonesia's population lives on Java, which is the country's most densely populated area. That's what's happening in the news world this week. Stay tuned for a sports update with Haley White when we return.
Tiger Media Network is the independent student media organization here at Fort Hays State University. It encompasses audio, video, print, photography, digital news. There's a little bit of everything at TMN.
They offer so many different events, opportunities, so many different things to go out and do and learn so that you can make a more compelling story and just help develop you as a storyteller.
I toured this facility and I saw this radio station and then the TV studio, and I was like, yeah, this is something that I definitely need to be a part of. Here, you know, I was instantly able to make my own content, being able to broadcast my own shows.
If you have a passion about sports or about news, it doesn't matter. You can come here and you can work from day one and get that experience that demonstrates your ability to be a professional in the media industry.
Hello Tigers, I'm Haley White bringing you a sports update. After collecting 2 consecutive MIAA championships, FHSU football enters the 2019 season number 11 in the AFCA D2 Top 25 poll, which was announced earlier this week. The Tigers finished last season 9-3 overall, while consecutively producing win totals that top program history. The NCAA has announced that the Tigers' season opener against Central Missouri is one of 18 matchups that will be a part of the 2019 Division II football showcase. The contest in Warrensburg will be a hybrid model game, which means it will be possible to watch online and on a televised program. The local TV channels of which the game may appear on will be announced closer to the game date. To view the game online, visit FHSU Athletics' Facebook page Thursday, September 5th at 7 p.m. After coming off the program's first trip to the national semifinals and collecting its second straight conference championship, FHSU men's soccer looks for a three-peat during the 2019 season as the Tigers top the GAC men's soccer preseason poll. The men also occupy the number 3 spot nationally in the United Soccer Coaches preseason top 25. The Tigers are to undergo changes this fall as Jerry Cleary has been named the new head coach for the 2019 season. Cleary has earned 3 national titles in the role as head coach, winning 2 NAIA championships with the Martin Methodist women's team, and went on to lead the Martin Methodist men to the 2013 national title. The men will also begin competing in the Great American Conference beginning this season after the MIAA and GAC announced its sport sponsorship partnership. The Tigers will be tasked with a big contest right off the bat with a home opener against Rockhurst Thursday, September 5th at 7 p.m.
The FHSU women's soccer team will head into the 2019 season ranked 3rd in the conference, which is the highest the program has ever set in the annual preseason poll. Last year, the Tigers finished in a tie for 3rd in the regular season with an 11-7-2 overall record, going 8-3 in the MIAA under third-year head coach Blake Reynolds. Reynolds enters his 4th season at FHSU with a lot of experience filling his roster, as the team will have 22 returners and all but 2 starters from last season, all while adding 5 new athletes to the group, including 4 freshmen and 1 sophomore transfer. The Tigers will open the season on the road against Augustana on September 6th, followed by a contest with Sioux Falls on the 8th. FHSU volleyball enters the 2019 season ranked 10th in the MIAA preseason coaches poll released earlier this week. The Tigers enter the year under second-year head coach Jessica Wood-Atkins, who looks to improve from last year's 8-22 record. Before kicking off the regular season, FHSU will host an exhibition match Monday, September 2nd, inside Gross Memorial Coliseum. Regular season play follows shortly after, as the Tigers will head to Nebraska for 4 matches in the Eagle Classic September 6th. Fort Hays will return home to host the 2019 Tiger Classic September 13th and 14th, with 6 matches each day beginning at 9 a.m. The Kansas City Royals may become only the second MLB franchise on the market since 2012, as owner David Glass reportedly advanced negotiations to sell the team for more than $1 billion to a group led by Indians minority owner John Sherman. Although it's not finalized, the Royals put out a statement saying that they wouldn't comment. Glass purchased the team in the year 2000 for $96 million, where the Royals have finished with a losing record in 14 of the last 19 seasons and are currently at pace to lose at least 100 games for the 6th time under the current owner. The Kansas City Chiefs are 1 preseason contest away from kicking off Week 1 of the regular season against the Oakland Raiders, who top the AFC West preseason standings. Kansas City trails right below the Raiders, sitting at number 2 after coming off a 12-4 overall record led by 2018 MVP Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs face the Green Bay Packers tomorrow night in the 4th and final week of the preseason at 7 p.m. The matchup between the Chiefs and Raiders will take place Sunday, September 15th, with a 3 p.m. kickoff on CBS. That concludes this episode. Tune in next week for another episode of TMNtv. To stay up to date on the latest news and information throughout the week, visit tigermedianet.com. Until then, remember, roar Tigers!